Duckweed reproduces about every 48 hours when the temperature is right. And when it does that, it goes from 1 to 2 to 4 to 8 to 16 to 32. Hello, everybody. Bob Lusk, the Pond Boss. There's R.E. Thompson. Oh my gosh, I love Mr. Thompson. Mr. Thompson is an amazing human from Petal, Mississippi. Greetings, Bob. Back again. I have one pond that constantly grows duckweed after being fertilized. My other 7 ponds do not. What's the difference? Well, the difference is that pond has duckweed. So here's the way that duckweed works. Duckweed it's pretty interesting. That stuff can move from pond to pond by flow. So if one pond that has it overflows into another pond, it can get it. But another way it can get it is that's one of the few plants that can cling to a migratory waterfowl bird that can move it from pond to pond. And once it gets there, you've heard, you guys that watch this show regularly know the answer to this, but when I say, hey, would you rather have a penny doubled every day for 30 days or $1 million? Which would you pick? The penny. Do the math on that. Do the penny doubled every day for 30 days. That's duckweed. Duckweed reproduces about every 48 hours when the temperature is right. And when it does that, it goes from 1 to 2 to 4 to 8 to 16 to 32. And here's one story about duckweed. I got a call from a guy in Crockett, Texas. Probably 30 years ago. And he said, man, I got a pond covered in duckweed and I don't know what to do about it. It's just gotten out of hand the last few years and I don't know what to do. So he gave me the directions and his name was Perry something. So I drove to Crockett and I found his place and the gate was open and I was about 30 minutes early. So I pulled in the gate and started driving around in the pasture. He had a horse ranch between Crockett and Madisonville. And so I'm driving around this ranch and I think I know where he's kind of told me where the pond is. I cannot find it. And I'm 30 minutes in front of him. And then I'm driving across this pasture. Then I look off to my right down in the meadow and I see this beautiful green pasture. But I see something brown and long in the middle of that pasture. So I drive down there to it, and lo and behold, it was a dock. And I pulled up to that dock, and there was the pond. And that pond had probably 3 to 5 inches thick of duckweed across our surface of that pond. There was no chance that there were any fish that were alive in that pond. And so I just pulled up, stopped, got out, walked down to the dock and looked. I could not believe the volume of duckweed on that pond. And it had only taken 3 or 4 years for it to get that way. And he'd done nothing about it because he didn't know what he didn't know. Well, sure enough, we used some fluoridone there and got it mixed into the water. It took it a while to knock out all that duckweed, but finally it did it. It took it like 120 days, 4 months. And finally the duckweed was gone. Took the electrofishing boat back, and there wasn't a fish in it. That duckweed had been there so long that it had pretty well just taken out all the fish. Chris Piper catching the tail end tonight. Quick question. If a half-acre pond is choked with duck seed or duckweed, I bet, and other grasses, can carp do the trick? And if so, how many? I love the show. Thanks, Chris. If you have duckweed, grass carp can't eat it because they have to stand on their tails. They can't do that. So before you use grass carp, look at grass carp as a pond management tool. And grass carp can only eat certain kinds of plants. They can't eat cattails. They won't eat lily pads. They're not going to do any of that. But they can't eat any floating plants to speak of to the point where they can control them. But they can eat most of the rooted aquatic plants, like the pondweeds, hydrilla, milfoil. They'll even eat coontail, even though that's not necessarily their favorite thing to eat. I've watched lakes that were choked with coontail where the grass carp devoured the coontail. It just took a while. So here's the point of that question. Pick the right tool. And for duckweed and any floating plants, that's not, grass carp are not the right tool. And I don't know where you are, Chris. You know, if you're in the Midwest or even in the South, I'm going to tell you one thing, but if you're in Florida or along the Gulf Coast, I'm going to tell you something different. But if you see this time of year that you've got duckweed, I would dip it out, because now it's going to be its lowest point of the year, and you can come take it and catch it, you know, get rid of it if you're willing to go to that trouble. South Louisiana. Yeah, you know what, Chris? South Louisiana, odds are pretty high that you're probably going to have to treat that with herbicides. So I would get with, I tell you who I'd go find, Kenneth Rust with Louisiana Pond Management. He's in our resource guide. Get in touch with Kenneth Rust. Ken Rust is a good guy. Okay, Steve Lewis says tilapia are good duckweed control. I don't know that I'd put tilapia in South Louisiana because they won't die. You know, although your point's well taken, Steve. You know, I wouldn't want to use tilapia, and I'm not sure tilapia are even legal in Louisiana. Be sure, if you're going to think about tilapia, be sure they're legal in your state. And I don't know if they're legal in South Louisiana or not. I don't know. But that's a good point. Get ready for algae. And I know tilapia will devour algae, you know, but you can't put tilapia in water until the temperature is 50 degrees going up. Paul Picard says tilapia are not legal in L.A., Louisiana. Okay, I kind of thought that, but I didn't remember. Hey, thanks for stopping by the Pond Boss YouTube channel. Be sure and share it. Click like. And oh, by the way, Pond Boss Magazine, $35 a year, cheaper than a Friday night date, and it lasts a year. Hope you enjoyed this intel, and we got more on the horizon. Adios for now.
Hey, Mr. Pond Boss, tell me what to do to make all my Lunker Lake dreams come true.